Today we're talking battle belts. I'm going to show you guys my personal setup that I use when I hit the airsoft field that carries everything that I need, and we'll also talk about some general tips to make sure that your belt is set up correctly. I'm showing you my belt from the back because I want you to see what it would look like if I was actually wearing it on my body, so the positioning of certain pouches makes a little bit more sense. Now to start things off, let's talk about the belt system that I'm using. This is a two-piece belt. This comes from Industries. I believe they call it their operator gun belt. And the nice thing about these is because it's a two-part system, you're going to have this inner belt right here. This is rigid, it is sturdy. This is what's going to help keep the belt in place. This will go on your trousers and has the hard side of the Velcro. And then what you're going to wrap around your body, meeting up with that Velcro, is going to be the outer belt, which is this Ranger green belt. And the nice thing about that is it allows you to take off the gun belt if you're not using it and still have a belt that's going to hold your trousers up. Having all that Velcro contact running mostly along your body, with the exception of right up here at the very front, means that this is going to be very sturdy without having to use anything like suspenders. Now taking a look at what I have on the belt itself, we're going to start out with the reason why most people buy belts is my holster. And of course this is on my right side because I'm a right-handed shooter. And in here I have my Elite Force Gen 4 Glock 19. I have a couple of attachments on here. I have a knockoff Surefire. I have the G17 CO2 magazines, which stick out a little bit in the Glock 19 frame, but I like that they're extended and I like that they take CO2. And then I have the Magpul concealed carry magwell on there. However, despite being advertised as one-to-one to a real Glock, this will not fit and took a bunch of modifications and dremeling, so I wouldn't recommend it. And then the holster that I have is the Blackhawk Omnivore. And the cool thing about this is that it accepts any pistol as long as it has a Surefire light on it. They also make an option for the TLR-1. I've done a review on it on the channel ages ago. I still really like this. If you want to check that video out, card in the upper right-hand corner, right around here. And then continuing with what's going to be in the front of the belt, because this is the stuff that you're going to reach for all the time, I have two pistol magazine pouches. These are closed tops. They're just generic. I think they're from T3, but anything will do. Honestly, Condor works as well. And in those, I have two more pistol magazines because I want to be able to reload. I chose closed tops because it also allows me to put other things in those pouches, like multi-tools, for example, and I just like having that flexibility if I need to. Behind those, I have an HSGI Taco. And the reason why I chose the Taco is not because I think it's the best pouch. I honestly think that the retention of the STAC Kiwis is significantly better, but I like to use more than just M4s. This will also fit my AK magazines. Right now I just have an Arcturus metal M4 midcap in there, but if I'm going to be on the bad guy team and using an AK, well, it's nice to have one belt that does everything, but I really like just having one rifle magazine pouch here. I plan on having the rest of my magazines on my plate carrier or my chest rig that I'm wearing. I really like to have the bare minimum on the belt because for me it's more comfortable having it on the body. And then we're going to move to kind of the back side of the belt, which I try to keep mostly clear so that I can sit down, or if I have to get into a car, I do a lot of admin work at games. So I have two things most of the time. First off, I have this Eagle Industries frag grenade pouch. Sometimes I'll use that for a dead rag. I will use that for a frag grenade because most of the times I keep my frags on the left side of my cummerbund or my chest rig. So if I'm shooting offhanded, I like having the access to having a frag on the right-hand side when this is my free hand, or if somebody needs to grab it off of me. Most times this stays empty though, unless I'm going to a game that's worth carrying 3 frags on me. And then right now I have this area clear. I don't have anything on there. Normally that would be for some sort of dump pouch. However, lately I've been liking putting my dump pouch on my chest rig or on my plate carrier. There's some really great options for that we'll talk about in a separate video. And then finally, the last thing I have is my boo-boo kit. And this is a tactical tailor pouch. I'll put the name of the pouch on screen because I don't remember it. But I like it because it's small and it holds a very tiny medical kit. Honestly, this is a little too big for my medical kit. Like if somebody made a general purpose pouch the size of a frag grenade, that'd be perfect for me. But this is the smallest that I could find. Just carry stuff for basic boo-boos. Aspirin, Band-Aids, if I get like burn cream, stuff like that. The reason that I carry such a small medical kit is, well, honestly, I'm not heavily medically trained. And I imagine that's what most players out there are as well, the people who are watching this channel. I like having it on a zipper so that if I remove it, I can easily put it back in there, not like a blowout pouch touch or anything like that. And this just sits on the back of the belt. You know, it can crush down if need be. It really does not get in the way. But I really think the name of the game for belts is simplicity and not overloading them unless you're doing something with some sort of harness. These really do better when you're trying to be minimal with them. Now, when setting up your battle belt, there's going to be a couple things to consider. And one of the main things is going to be how your belt works with the rest of your gear. And what I mean by that is, you want to be able to access stuff on your belt. However, if you're running a super bulky plate carrier, maybe you've got giant general purpose pouches around your 2 and your 10 o'clock, well, it's going to be hard to get things like extra magazines or to draw your sidearm. That's actually one of the issues that I run into with this belt. Because the pistol rides so high on there, if I have a giant general purpose pouch right above there, which would be like right where the cummerbund starts next to your plate bag, it can kind of be a pain to get that out. So I recommend getting something with a little bit of a drop on it so that the holster is just a couple inches lower. You don't have to go for a complete drop leg sort of system, but a mid-ride, like the option from Safariland, works really well in this case. However, if you just build out your plate carrier or your chest rig to not have a huge pouch right there that's going to get in the way, well, that isn't as much of an issue. And the same thing applies on my left side with this magazine right here. If there's something in the way, well, it's going to be kind of hard to reach. The other thing that I'll suggest is if you have a more minimal battle belt like this one here, well, they don't really do well with suspenders, so you're going to want to make sure that the weight is pretty even on there. And for most people, the heaviest thing is going to be their sidearm, so by having the pistol mags and the rifle mag as well, that does help kind of balance things side to side, so you don't have it sloping for one side or the other. So those are going to be the main tips that I have for using a belt. It's one of those things that it's just going to take time. If you're not used to wearing a battle belt, well, I would definitely say that it's going to, just run it, wear it in the house for a little bit and then take it to open plays before you take it to any major events, because it's a little bit different having that weight on your hips when you're not used to it. But that's going to do it for today's video. A big thank you so much for watching. Also, I just wanted to take a quick moment to thank all of our channel members for helping to support the Baby Warrior. If it wasn't for them, the content that I do would not be possible. If you want to become a channel member, it comes with some really cool perks, like getting guaranteed access in our Rose My Kit series, being able to watch videos early, and even more. So if you want to learn more about becoming a channel member, there's information down in the description below. My name is Lane, and I'll see you all next time.